Well, hey folks, back again with just one of the random videos I talked about earlier in an earlier, update kind of vlog thing while I was in the car. I've been actually wanting to do this for a while. I just haven't sat down and done it, and it's a cool little picking exercise that I come up with. And I apologize for my voice. It just got out of revival, and my voice is kind of shot right now. It's on its way to recovery. And this, cold snap that we've had here in Tennessee hasn't helped much either. So, been waking up with all kinds of junk and everything in my lungs and my throat and sinuses and all the pollen and all this stuff. We all know how that is. But anyway, I was going to show you this cool little shape here. It's not really a shape, but it's a sequence, and it's a cool way to practice your scales that you may not have, thought about before. This is the fun thing about practice, is that you basically you come up here and you practice the things that you're already aware of, and then something happens. You stumble on it by accident, and that's the way it happened with this shape or with this sequence here. Basically, if we take the regular shape and we take that shape and let me go ahead and raise this level here so that we can hear the sound of it better. And then I think that would be it. Like I said, I apologize for my throat. Let me look down here and make sure that the level is actually turned up here. And it's not. I don't know exactly where that is up there. I'm going to turn this up just a hair. There we go. Now we can hear. Take just a basic G major / E minor scale. Actually, okay, so we take that basic shape and we walk it down. We got a half step and then a whole step, and that's on the B or the E and the B string. Then we got a whole step and a half step. That starts, by the way, this starts on the 8th fret, and then that's 8, 7, 5 for the E and the B string. And then we have this whole and then half step. That starts on 7, 5, 4, and that's going to be on the G and the D string. And then we have 7, 5, 3 on the A and the E string. Okay, and it works with either G major or E minor. Okay, so we can do that either way. But the sequence looks a little bit like this, and I'll try to explain it the best way I can. Basically, we're going to start with the very first note in the scale, which is on the 8th fret E string. So the way I want you to think of this is the direction is down 5 and up 2 notes. Down 5 notes, then up. Then you start up 2 notes. So this is down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you start up 2 notes. So we're going to skip the note that was previous to that and start on the second note. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip that one, back to this one, and then we hit this note and come up one more note. Because this is the second note in the actual scale, we start with 1, 2, 3. So we're starting on this different note every time. So we're starting on a different note of the scale each time until we get to the very last note, the root note. And so let me just show you and demonstrate what this looks like, and then I'll kind of, try to explain maybe some more tips with it. Okay, now I haven't practiced this enough to be able to do that fast yet. but I'm sure it would have a really nice ripping sound to it if you did. A couple things with it, and I'm sure you can do this backwards too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip that one, and then do this back down. Now that's a little difficult for me to see, but it works backwards as well. A couple tips about this on the descending direction. If you can just remember to skip the next to the last note and go to the note after that. Don't worry about 5, down 5. You can hear it, the rhythm. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a triplet. It's kind of like a 6/8 feel. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Let me go ahead and shut that video down. It's going to be popping all the time. Let me try this again and get us a new video recording here. Quick time. Alright, looks like it's working. And move this out of the way. So, let's try this again. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it's a triplet feel, so it would work really well with 3 notes per string, and that's what I'm using. You might just want to practice each section until you get it. And then the next one. And then the next one. There. I will tell you the third one and the fourth one are probably the easiest because you're actually barring to get to that, other note, the second note in line. Let's see. So it's going to be 5 on the E. Then we got 8, 7, 6, 7 bar on that 7th fret on the B, and that'll start it. And you just come right back to this root note and then continue it down, and the next one's going to be a bar as well on the first finger. Okay. Once again, I apologize for that. So those are probably the 2 easiest ones. Once again, you're just getting that mindset of we skip over this note and hit immediately that note, on the other side of it. We continue it on until we get to the end. It'll land right there, and then you can hit the root right after that. Let's see. I decided to do a screencast of this because that way you can see what's going on up here, effects-wise. I've got my flawless. This is right now becoming my favorite tone, and it's one that I created myself. And when the Batitude licks come out, they're coming out soon. At least the first one is. I've got to get on the ball and get the other ones done. I will actually upload the patches that I use for my Digitech RP355 to the backing tracks page on my SecretsTexasBluesGuitar.com website, so that you can download these and incorporate them into your effects pedals from Digitech. But if you have a Boss or something like that, line 6, then these effects can be compared to those, and you can kind of just see what I've got going on here and use them for your own effects change. So let's put a little bit of effects on here. We got some dual chorus and some delay, and let's try that with some actual stuff here. Once again, I'm not very good at it, fast. And if you're doing a flurry of notes like this, you probably don't want delay. Chorus is fine, but you probably don't want delay because, it'll build on top of each other. And you want to have a nice, clean, smooth sound. Now, there's two places here that sound the best to me. And it would sound really cool if you do like a Paul Gilbert thing where you sit there and just cycle that same lick over and over again. And let me show you, let me get to it and then I'll show you which one it is. It's the fourth one. So here's the first one. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you sit there and practice that over and again, it sounds really good in context here. Obviously that's not clean, I haven't practiced it. That sounded really good over C chord. But it's kind of like suspended there and held, in place until you get ready to, move back and forth on the other ones. And this, I encourage you to do the same thing here. Don't just go all the way down. Stop on one point and repeat a certain section. And that's an easy one too because you can just sit here and bar these two notes on the 4th fret of the D and the G string. And you can use that with palm muting to get a good effect. I'm on my neck pickup right now. Let's see what it sounds like on the bridge pickup. It'll be easier to get you a harmonic there. So basically, that's just what I want to go over today. I know there's probably some other things I could think of, but you've got the basics to it. It's really fairly easy to do if you just stick to that scale shape. Once again, that is a half and a whole, starting on the 8th fret, half and a whole. Excuse me, half and a whole. And then you're going to move down to the pinky on the 7th fret. We got a whole. This is the whole step, 2 frets. And then a half, so it's 7, 5, 4. Same thing on the D string, and then you got 7, 5, 3 on the E and A strings. And probably one of the hardest parts of this is when you get down here to D's and you go. It's the one before that. It's when you're coming back, you're skipping this long stretch, and then you got to come back to this note. Anyway, you just practice the parts that you're really used to until you get it down. Like I said, I could think of some more ways to apply this, but it's pretty basic. You just follow that. First of all, if you don't know that pattern, memorize it. If you don't know the shape, not the pattern but the shape, And you can do that with any other scale shape you're familiar with, a 3-note per string. Scale shape as well. I'm just more familiar with this shape. This also works for pentatonics. It's a little different, but it's the same thing. It still comes out to triplets. So if I was in G major or G minor pentatonic here, so if I did that, I went down 5 and skipped 2, skipped 1 actually up to. And that's a little easier because you end up barring with this finger like every other time once you get down to the 5th fret here. The first one you come back on is back to that pinky on the B string. And then you come back to the first finger here. That's what your first bar right here. Then your second bar. So it's first finger bar, middle finger, or ring finger bar, first finger bar, ring finger bar. You know, basically from the second step of that phrase on. The other cool thing that this really works on is your alternate picking. Please pay attention to your picking. Do this slowly at first because you're going to want that nice alternate picking for smoothness. Okay, so if you're working on this first shape, down, start with a down, and when you complete this scale or complete this pattern, you should end up with a down here. So for example, if I go through this, that's a downstroke. Now obviously I messed up on the way, but I remembered where I was in the pattern so that I can continue with either an upstroke or downstroke where I was. So that'll be it for this lesson, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, click that like button. Please stay tuned to bluegrassguitaressentials.com. I feel that some of the little webisodes I've been talking about will be released very soon. So please stay tuned for that. There's going to be some announcements regarding that coming up. But I'm glad I've got this lesson out of the way now, and this is going to be something I'll probably find myself playing along with, and just sitting in a good picking exercise to start out with to help my fingers get familiar with new scale shapes and also the constant alternate picking. And this will be good to use with a metronome to start out slow, maybe 80 beats a minute or 90 beats a minute, and then speed it up gradually. Try to get up to 200 beats a minute or something. Go as much as you can. Start out slow. Make sure you got the shape memorized before you try this, because you won't know where you're going. Get that shape down first. So thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. I'm going to get off here and enjoy my Saturday. All right. Thanks so much. I'll talk to you guys later.